Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Tuesday. I hope all of you are doing good. And if you saw my live stream last night, no, I'm not on repeat. I'm just up late at night again fighting for the Second Amendment in Michigan because now there's two more gun control bills that they're trying to sneak through in what's called the lame duck session of the Michigan 2024 legislature. These are Senate bills 857 and 858. These are going to gut CPL holders, basically render your CPL useless in thousands of places in the state of Michigan. Also going to be banning possession of firearms in many places for non-CPL holders. Now, just a real quick update. Go back and watch my live stream from yesterday. I discussed House Bill 5450, 5451. These are moving through the legislature quickly, as well as Michigan House Bills 4127 and 4128, which are probably going to be voted on this week in Michigan. Also, I'm going to try my hardest by tomorrow morning to put up maybe a 10-15-minute video trying to package all 6 of these bills together in a more concise fashion. This is a live stream, so I welcome all of you watching live as well as on replay. Also, keep in mind, guys, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm a landscaper for a living. I was working outside all day yesterday, all day today. I know a lot of you guys want to just pick stuff off of a menu and have me produce the videos to your exact liking and attention span. Look, I'm in the fight with all of you. I'm doing the best I can. And this is going to be a live stream just to break this news to you guys because it's happening so quick. I will try my best tomorrow to put out a more concise video, as concise as I can, covering these 6 subject matter gun control bills that they're shoving through Michigan as soon as possible. So I want to thank all of you who do financially support this channel because this makes it possible for me to do what I do, which takes a lot of time in addition to my real job. So thank you to all of you guys who support on YouTube as channel members, where you guys get extra emojis in the chat as well as some extra content. I also appreciate any super chats, which if I were to get any tonight, I will definitely read those and appreciate it. And also thanks to my Patreon supporters, as well as all of you who follow and support me over on Locals. Locals is a different site, censorship free. We just had a blast over there this last Saturday doing a live stream, stuff we can't do on YouTube where we touch guns live and do all kinds of extra stuff. Locals is a place you can support the channel, or you can actually financially support as a free member over there as well. Just go over and you'll see what I mean. Also, check out the other censorship-free sites like Local Sister Company. YouTube doesn't like it, so I'll say it rhymes with Fumble. It's a green logoed site. Link to that is down in the description, as well as follow me on X and Myriad Social, which is censorship-free and uncensorable because it's on the blockchain. So I hope you're all doing good tonight, and probably not a lot of people watching live just because it is so late, but we're looking at 2 more, okay? So yesterday I talked about 4 Michigan House bills. Keep in mind the Michigan legislature has 2 chambers. The lower chamber is the House, the upper chamber is the Senate. Identical versions have to pass through both. In some cases, they go through a backroom reconciliation process. But either way, if it originates in the Senate, it's called a Senate bill. If it originates in the House, like the 4 I showed you yesterday, those are House bills, okay? And the governor will sign any and all gun control. And the Republicans during this last election did take the Michigan House back. Problem is they don't take control until January. This is what's called the lame duck session. It's very unscrupulous and low down and dirty what they're doing, but they're trying to shove all of their woke agenda as well as massive gun control through in these waning weeks, a month and a half, whatever they have left until it's over. Okay. CPLs in Michigan. These 2 are going to gut. I'm going to say this again because there's people joining as we speak. And if you come in halfway through, you can always rewind. And again, thank you to all of you listening live and on replay. These combined are going to gut and shred your CPL for literally possibly thousands of places. Okay, you could be criminalized, fined very, very quickly. It's also going to criminalize and fine you In many instances, even if you're not a CPL holder, you're going to be afraid to even know where you can legally carry a gun in Michigan, even though the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. And Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 6, strongly supports your right to keep and bear arms as well. So I'm going to get into the nuts and bolts of this here. This is a live stream where I can take some questions and kind of go through some of this stuff. These are moving quickly. Right now, these bills have been introduced, but there's the deal. This got CPL holders, guys, and open carry and many other types of carry, including in your vehicles in many places. This is going to make Michigan pretty bad. This is scheduled for committee hearing just in a couple days here. Okay, I got this from the Michigan Legislature website. This is from the Michigan Senate website. And this is going to be heard in the Civil Rights, Judiciary, and Public Safety Committee, 12 o'clock noon this Thursday, November 14th, 2024, in the Bensfield office building. This is a place where you can observe the testimony. It's also a place where you can sign up. There's little cards you fill out when you get there where you can potentially, if chosen by Chairman Stephanie Chang, okay, this is a liberal gun grabber. The Democrats do control the Senate by a 2-seat majority. In Michigan, they also still control the House by a 2-seat majority until this coming January. So I want you guys to share this video to let people know what's going on. Also keep a lookout. I will try my best to get a concise video that's talking about all 6 of these. All right, Senate Bill 857. See, Michigan has a couple different sections of public acts. We're looking at them amending a 1927 Public Act 372. Yep, we've had massive gun control in Michigan since 1927. Senate Bill 858. This is going to amend a 1931 Public Act 328. Yeah, we've had massive gun control in Michigan for like 100 years, and a lot of people never realize that. Well, they'll be realizing it now, and I hope this stuff doesn't go through, but there's a good chance it will. So let's go over 857 first. This is going to affect your CPL holders. Now, if you have a CPL, you know you can, and again, nothing's legal advice in this whole video, guys. This is me bringing you some information. This is me bringing you some news, if you will, and just consider this an op-ed. You're getting exactly the legal advice you're paying for, and I'm not your lawyer, and I'm not a lawyer at all. So don't say, well, 2AEDU said I can or can't. No legal advice, because this is serious stuff, and I wouldn't want to steer you guys wrong. However, we're going to go through this because it's going to affect all of you that are CPL holders and even non-CPL holders. So the parts where it's in black is where they're going to change things. The bill's altered by adding some things in black. But the big problem here is going to be a line that they omit. They cross through. So if you have a CPL in Michigan, on the back of your CPL, it's like a plastic ID card. By the way, CPLs are completely unconstitutional. Any permit's unconstitutional. The Second Amendment, that's your permit, end of story. It'd be the equivalency of a poll tax, which nobody would ever allow to happen. And it should be unthinkable to charge people money to be able to exercise their right to keep and bear arms. I don't agree that you should have to have a CPL, but this is the laws we live under in Michigan and have been living under it for a very long time. Okay. So on the back of your CPL, there's a long list of places that you cannot conceal carry a pistol in the state of Michigan, even with your CPL. Now we're going to get into 858 in a minute because there's also a long list of places you can't carry a gun at all if you're not a CPL holder. Some of which people don't even believe me, like Walmart and places like that. No CPL, can't carry there. No, I'm not joking. We'll get into 858 in just a minute here. So we're going to start off with kind of like, we'll call it, this is the church prohibition. Church, synagogue, mosque. Unless you have permission from the presiding official or officials, can't carry in a church. Okay. How you guys doing tonight? I'll check the chat in just 1 minute here. You also can't carry concealed, even with a CPL. You can't carry in these places without a CPL either. I'm just talking about CPL holders right now to make this clear. An entertainment facility with a seating capacity of 2,500 or more that the individual knows or should have known is 2,500 or more. Unless they have it posted, it's 2,500 or more. So you can't carry in stadiums or places with large seating. This is the way it works right now, but we're going to continue. Can't conceal carry with a CPL in a hospital. You can't conceal carry even with a CPL in a dormitory or classroom of a community college, or university. Okay. They're going to add 3 more. Now, right now, we already have a ban for all 3 places, but they're going to add this into actual law. The Michigan State Capitol building. Right now, that's from their Capitol Commission, which is supposed to keep track of the lawn, preserve the paintings, trim the hedges and bushes and mulch and all that stuff, like landscapers work and building maintenance work, right? Change light bulbs. Well, they've decided they have the authority to ban guns at the Capitol. I've reported on that on this channel since that went into effect. Also, the Anderson House office building. That's where all of your state representatives' offices are. That's also banned unless you have a CPL right now by Speaker Tate. Some people call him Speaker Taint, Speaker Tate, right? The Bensfield Senate office building. That's the office where your senators are. That's going to be banned, even if you have a CPL. An individual licensed under this act to carry a concealed pistol or is exempt from licensure under Section 12A shall not carry a concealed pistol in violation of blah, blah, blah of Michigan Administrative Code promulgated under, and it keeps going on, Michigan Gaming Code. Now, here's where this is going to be crazy. As used in subsection 1, premises does not include, and this is the way the law reads right now, does not include parking areas of the places identified under subsection 1. But they crossed it out. So if they cross out an exemption, that means when the new bill, if this bill becomes law, okay, they are pushing this through committee this week, that will mean your CPO holder is no longer exempt from the premises, including parking lots of all of these places. Yeah, like you might end up in the parking lot. Some of you guys may or may not follow laws. Again, I'm not a cop. I'm not trying to investigate anybody. I'm also can't be advocating for you to break laws. I'm just saying, I don't know what you guys do, but some of you guys may or may not follow laws that are watching. And if you do follow laws, a lot of you are probably like, well, I'll just leave it in the car, in the parking lot. When I go into maybe church, maybe the hospital, dormitory of a college, a stadium, right? All of these different places we just talked about, they're going to cross out that, see, number 4, as used in subsection, premises does not include parking areas of the places identified under subsection I. That's going to be gone now. So you will not be exempt or okay if you're in the parking lot. Let's say it's in your glove box, whatever, right? Because just remember, if you have a pistol like in Michigan, just like sitting in your front seat with you in your vehicle, it's accessible to the passengers, it's not being stored in a particular way, that's considered concealed carrying in Michigan, okay? Long guns are affected by that too. Now, this is what's interesting. Look at this new exemption that they're going to add in here. So this is all new text where it's bold. Subsection 1, I to K does not apply to an individual licensed to carry a concealed pistol under this act while that individual is serving as a member of the Michigan House of Representatives or the Michigan Senate. So they're exempting their own. They're also exempting about anyone who's ever worn any kind of uniform, costume thereof, whatever you want to call it. You know, if you're a cop, you've ever been a cop, if you work for the court, if you're a sheriff. I mean, there's a long list of exemptions, people that are totally exempt from all of this. I mean, we clearly live in a 2-class society, and these exemptions are the same ones that there's been for a while. So we're basically doing 2 things here. Well, 3 things technically. We're adding 3 more places codified into law. Look, here's what's so ironic about this. This is the place where you go right? For what's called your redress of grievance, protected by the First Amendment, your right to peaceably assemble. If you wanted to go talk to your state rep or your state senator, or you wanted to observe their hearings, their committees, their House sessions, their Senate sessions, if you wanted to talk to them in the hallways of the buildings, because keep in mind, these are our buildings. These are owned by we the people. And these people work for us. These are supposed to be public servants. But now you literally have to give up your Second Amendment protected right to exercise your First Amendment protected rights. These would now be codified into law, all three of these buildings. They're also getting rid of, for all of these, okay, different lists here, all these premises that were already on the back of your CPL. I hope you guys are following me here. Now they're going to get rid of that exemption of having it in the parking lot. So now if you know that you're going to make a quick stop by one of these places, all right, and there's more. I just read a couple of them earlier because some people don't like it when I read the whole entire bill, but they're called your prohibited places. A lot of people in Michigan, you should know about this if you have a CPL. It's on the back of it, right? If you're just making a quick stop at a place and you're like, well, I'll just leave my gun in the car, could probably find yourself in big trouble by the time this is said and done. And those of you that are regulars that watch my live streams, look who is the first person. Look who actually wrote this bill. The first person's name is right here. This is Senator Paula Hankey. Some people call her Senator Paula Hanky Panky, actually. They call her many things, but we're going to keep this a very family-friendly channel. Some people call her Senator Paula Hanky Panky. And then they're doing all this woke stuff, and then we're going to get to Senate Bill 858. It's just, look, they can't even handle the words he and she anymore. If you watched my live stream last night, that was a riot. You'll now be able to change your ID in Michigan or your birth certificate to X if you don't identify as a male or female. But it used to say if he, oh, mine's having a hard time focusing. I wouldn't want to focus on anything with Senator Hanky Panky either if I was this camera. See how it used to say he or she? Now it says the parents or legal guardian is dropping the student off. Now this seems like something small, but again, just remember, even during gun control bills, they're spreading their woke indoctrination, where it's not okay to say when he or she is dropping their child off at school. No, it has to be the parent or guardian, because everybody's not a he and everybody's not a she. And they're gaslighting you to make it seem like you're nuts and you're mentally ill if you believe there's only two genders. But they slip all of this woke agenda in with gun control. Now, this one's not that long, okay? This is Senate Bill 858. These are both being heard in committees at noon, okay, in the Senate building. I'm going to show this for anyone who's just now joining. So this is the one I just talked about and the one I'm about to. There's a committee meeting. This is in Lansing, Michigan, at the Bensfield office building. That's where the Senate meets. 12 o'clock, high noon, this Thursday, November 14th, 2024. You can go there and observe this committee face-to-face. You can watch it on the Senate TV. You can even go there and testify, or to be more realistic, attempt to testify, because a lot of times they don't let the 2A people testify very much. Remember when Dr. John Lott was testifying, they were very rude to him. Chairman Kelly Breen was very rude, and others. So yeah, man, I was talking to my friend Brendan Boudreau from Great Lakes Gun Rights. Make sure you guys check them out if you're not already a member. I am. I think they do a lot of work in Michigan for a small grassroots gun rights group. And I was talking to him about the House bills that I found out from one of my insider sources. And then he lets me know from one of his sources earlier today about these two Senate bills. Okay, so this is Senate Bill 858. And I think it's best that I just kind of read this one because they've changed most of it. Like, they're gutting your CPL and also going to make it prohibited to carry for everybody in a lot of places here. The people in the state of Michigan enact, except as provided in subsection 2 or 3, a person shall not possess a firearm on the premises of any of the following: A, depository, financial institution, or a subsidiary or affiliate of a depository financial institution, a church or other house of religious worship. C, a court. D, a theater. A sports arena. E, a sports arena. F, a daycare center or a hospital or an establishment licensed under the Michigan Liquor Control Code of 1998. Now, there's going to be a couple exceptions that they crossed out. Keep in mind, if you don't have a CPL, guys, you've never been allowed to carry a gun in any place with a liquor license. Look, these are not my laws. For those of you that are new here, welcome. Please like and subscribe. Permits are completely unconstitutional. You shouldn't have to have a permit. We shouldn't need constitutional carry laws. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms, it shall not be infringed. That's the only thing that I believe, just so you guys know. So when I say you're not allowed to whatever, this is just me letting you know what you could be criminalized for, okay? So, look, this is going to make it where CPL holders and, I guess, everybody, right, is going to be criminalized in all these places. Listen very carefully. This is up for committee hearing. Okay, my inside sources are telling me they're going to try to cram this through. What's happening, Avster Bone? Nice to see you, man. We already talked about the parking lot exemption, Avi, earlier in 857. Now we're going to get to where this one, when it's combined with the other one, just guts everything. What's happening, Red? MF James. Tony, Absolute AM. Crazy Heathen. What's happening, dude? Nice to see you. Look, nice to see you guys. So, all right. So there's all these places we just talked about. Now we're also going to add on to this the Michigan State Capitol building, just like the other bill, but there's differences here. So hold on. The Anderson House Office building, the Bensfield Senate Office building. Now this section does not apply to any of the following: a person who owns or is employed or contracted by an entity described in subsection 1 if the possession of that firearm must provide security services for that entity. Now look, I appreciate internet senses of humor. I know a lot of you guys make comments like, well, I'm a full-time security guard for myself or my family. And look, that's what the Second Amendment says. That's what I believe. When it comes to these laws, though, it's kind of just something cute and funny to say, because there's actually legal definitions of what it means to be a security guard. So just saying that I'm a security guard for myself or security services, again, no legal advice. That's not actually going to pass muster, unfortunately. And I think when you guys leave that comment on my videos, which I get it a lot, I think you're just kind of being cute and joking. But if you're being serious, I would contact a lawyer on that. But in my personal, non-professional opinion, probably not a very good defense, just to let you guys know that. Because here's how the gun community works. And not you guys that are watching right now. You guys are like the diehards. You guys are awesome. That's why I'm staying up late at night to give you all the time of day, because you guys matter, right? What's happening, Sergey? Man, a lot of my good friends in here tonight. Nice to see you guys. What's happening, Sergey? How you doing, man? But look, everyone says, I'm a security for myself, so I'm exempt. And guys, look, most people in the gun community just look for loopholes, unfortunately, you know, and they don't really want to like fight the fight and actually like do stuff and go to committee hearings and talk to their reps. But I digress. A peace officer. So the police are always going to be exempt from everything. Just get used to that going forward. Now, hold on a minute. This is, look, a lot of these parts here, these prohibited places, except for these 3 new ones: Michigan Capitol Building, House Office Building, Senate Office Building. What's happening, Vince? Nice to see you, man. Good people in the chat tonight, and I'm sure on replay as well. All this is the same as it's been, but here's the kicker. This is them kicking you right in the you-know-what. Like, your CPL is literally gone now. It used to say a person licensed by this state or another state to carry a concealed weapon. That's gone. Now keep in mind, a person shall not possess a firearm. This is banning possession. All right? We're on the gentleman. What's happening? Look, I'm going to try, guys, for anyone just joining, to put together about a 15-minute video. There's 6 things they're cramming through in the lame duck. So this is going to ban possession from all these places. I just went over 857 a little bit earlier. We're even talking about the parking lots. Am I getting this, Avi? This is complicated stuff. You know what I mean? But look, all these places, any place with a liquor license, this will ban possession. Even if you have a CPL. Okay? If you don't have a CPL, you're banned. If you do have a CPL, you're banned. I'll go over this slowly again, just for everyone, because there's just people just now joining. You guys need to fight like hell to make sure this doesn't happen, and get calling your senators, reps, show up to this committee, do what you got to do. Email. You know what I'm saying? Take part in the process. A depository or financial institution, or a subsidiary or affiliate of a depository institution. Like, dude, do you know what subsidiary means? Does that mean if there's an ATM, a Huntington Bank ATM? I'm sure that's a subsidiary. My man, make sure you follow this guy over on Twitter, X. Okay, Avster Bone. He's a good dude, man. We've hung out in real life, and we're just doing what we can in this messed up state, right? Give my man a follow, and man, okay. Depository financial institution or subsidiary or affiliate. Affiliate? Do you guys realize that, like, this is just the mere possession of a firearm at this point, even if you have a CPL? Criminalized. How do we know who they're affiliated with? What if your bank's also into real estate and they have a house for sale or a vacant lot for sale? I mean, this could be wide. This could be way more wide than you could possibly think. Go over to X and follow 2AEDU and Avster Bone, AVSTERBONE. While you're there, make sure you guys follow Band Talk. Okay? I'm giving you guys some good people to follow that are pretty based. And they'll teach you guys some smart stuff that I probably won't even think of. A church or other house of religious worship. A court. A theater. This is a theater. Movie, whatever. It doesn't even say the seating capacity for the theater. The sports arena. A daycare center, a hospital. And any establishment licensed under the Michigan Control Code of 1998. That's your party store. That's your gas station nowadays in most cases. In some cases. That's your Walmart. That's your Meijer, your Kroger. Of course, you're also banned in the Michigan State Capitol, the House Office Building, and the Senate Office Building. Just to think of that, to live in a country where you have to give up your First Amendment protected rights to exercise your Second Amendment protected rights. Or you can make the opposite choice and give up your Second Amendment protected rights, right, to then exercise your First Amendment. See, 857 gets rid of the exemption for parking lots, guys. No parking lot. You could be driving down the road in the state of Michigan if these pass, and they're trying to rush these through, make no mistake. You notice you're starting to get a flat tire. And the closest and only thing you see is the Walmart parking lot. So you just pull off into the parking lot a few feet to change your tire. And the cop comes up and says, "May I help you, sir?" Now, keep in mind, if you're approached by a police officer, if there's an interaction, Michigan has another law that says that you have to notify the police officer immediately that you're concealed carrying a pistol with a CPL. So you're a CPL holder. You're driving from your house to your mom's house. That's about the only place you're going to be able to go anymore in this darn wretched state if all this stuff passes. And it's probably going to pass. I hope we can all get it together and stop it, but it's probably going to. They're cramming this through. It's called the lame duck. You're driving from your mom's house, okay? She just made you some chocolate cake. It's your favorite, and you're on the way home, and you get a flat tire. The only thing there's the Walmart parking lot. You're changing your tire. Officer friendly walks up. You're like, sir, I have to notify you immediately. I am carrying a concealed pistol. It's only a 22. Because people always have these FUD delusions of grandeur. Like, well, if it's a 22, it's a loophole. No. This is all firearms. FUDs, not FUDs, neo-FUDs, neophytes. This applies to everybody. And he's like, oh, you are? Well, you're in the parking lot of Walmart, which has a liquor license. Yeah, sir, you're coming with me. And that's if you're lucky. But officer friendly, hey, I'm just following orders. Do you guys remember the Nuremberg trials? I'm just following orders. I've just got a job to do. Supper's ready and it's going to get cold. I just have to take you to jail now. You'll lose your CPL. You'll get fined, whatever the case is, because look, you get busted a first time, it's a little bit less, but then you get busted again, it's a little bit more than that. Then it becomes a lot more than that. Tiered punishments, in other words, the more times you get caught. But just remember, and I'm going to keep going here, these laws only affect the law-abiding because criminals don't follow laws, right? So this, again, only affects all of the law-abiding citizens, subjects of the state of Michigan. They've gotten rid of the exemption, guys. These places have been banned from people without CPLs forever. Most people don't even know it, but they have been. And they've gotten rid of your exemption for your CPL. They've gotten rid of your parking lot here, okay? Peace officer, still exempt. Okay, Section C, a person who possesses a firearm on the premises. Described in subsection 1, if that person is with the permission of the owner or an agent of the owner of that entity. Now, that's going to apply to some of these, but you're never going to be able to talk to the owner of Walmart. You're never going to be able to talk to the owner of the sports stadium or the daycare center. Maybe with your church, you could actually talk to the owner or the agent. Yeah. Okay. Guess who else they're going to exempt? Now, you guys just heard 857 a minute ago. Subsection 1, I to K does not apply to a person carrying a concealed pistol if that person meets both of the following criteria. A, is licensed to carry a concealed pistol. Hold on, it said both. B, is carrying the concealed pistol while that person is serving as a member of the Michigan House of Representatives or the Michigan Senate. So basically, when they wrote this, they said rules for thee, but not for me. For a person who violates this section is guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by imprisonment for not more than 90 days or a fine of not more than $100 or both. If you violate the good old Senate Bill 857, now that one here, I believe is a little bit bigger fine. Oh, this is where they start to step it up. You guys like the old stair stepper routine, right? Okay. Except as provided in subsections B and C, the individual is responsible for a state civil infraction and may be fined not more than $500. The court shall order the individual's license to carry a concealed pistol suspended for 6 months. That's if you violate under 857, which that's getting rid of parking lots for premises. By the time you combine it, though, with 858, it's basically like almost everywhere in the state of Michigan. Because remember, too, if you didn't watch my one yesterday, 4127 and 4128, if you're within so many feet of any of these numerous dozens of different classifications of polling stations, drop boxes, voting places, just all of these places that are all over Michigan and you don't even know where they are, this is going to make you prohibited from carrying near any of those. For a second violation, the individual is guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000. The court shall order the individual's license to carry a concealed pistol revoked. And that would be as in like permanently revoked, because the first time it's $500 and revoked for 6 months. Look, guys, I'm going to take a look at the chat because maybe you guys have some questions. Maybe you just want to talk and hang out for a few minutes. For those of you just joining, I said this at the very beginning. I'm going to try to get a video put out tomorrow. Just remembering, this is not my full-time job, guys. I'm sponsored by you guys that are supporting monthly. The super chat that I just got in here, a sponsorship by Chris Gilbert. I was out swatting nails on the deck all day today. Most of the day, actually. All day yesterday, most of the day today. Then I got right out and was cutting grass until literal dark. So I'm doing the best I can. Some people say stuff like, I can't watch an hour and a half video. Look, I get to the nuts and bolts of it way quicker than that. Then we just have a place to hang out and be together. But it's like, and people are like, I have a family. Yeah, I know. I have a family too, guys. I'm doing the best I can. Shout out to all of you guys who appreciate what I do. Thank you for all the kind words in the stream yesterday. For people that just don't get it, they just ain't going to get it, 2A EDU. I want a 2-minute video on this and a 2-minute video on this. Look, guys, sponsorship opportunities are available. If one of my viewers was rich enough and could put enough money where their mouth is, they could order whatever they wanted, and I could not mow lawns and just do videos all day. For the rest of you guys, I'm doing the best I can to report this as soon as it comes, and I will try. Please don't get mad at me if I have a job and I just can't finish it tomorrow, but I will try to put out a more concise video talking about now we have 6 bills that they're cramming through both the House and the Senate in the lame duck session. But wait, there's more. I don't give you guys any news till it's completely verified. Okay? There's rumors, and I will tell you when there has to be some meat on the bone. I'm not a sensationalist. I never come on here and make stuff up, even though I'd probably be a lot bigger channel if I did. But these 6 might not be it. Okay. If I had to guess, probably not it, actually. But I know for a fact from like a bulletproof inside source, House Bill 4127, we talked about it yesterday, is on the agenda for Wednesday or Thursday, one of the 2 days. I can't remember because there was 100 bills. House Bill 4128 is on the agenda. As in, I've seen the agenda. Now, they could change the agenda at the last minute, and if they do, that's a victory. That means enough reps got cold feet, and they don't think they can pass it. So if any of these disappear, that doesn't mean they weren't on the agenda. It means enough of us got our butts in order and put the brakes on it. I'm serious, too, when I say that. These are on the agenda. I've seen them with my own eyes. I'm not going to say too much because I'm in a public venue, but trust me when I say this. I have insider sources. I see things. I work really hard on this. So 5450 and 5451, we talked about these yesterday in the stream, are on the agenda. I've seen them with my own eyes. All right. These 2 Senate bills are literally on the calendar. Okay. For this Wednesday. Or Thursday. I'm sorry, Thursday. Thursday, not Wednesday. Thursday. In 2 days. Almost tomorrow. It'll be midnight here. It'll be the 13th in 23 minutes. Okay. I'll show you guys right here what we're looking at. This is their agenda. Senate Bill 857. Senator Polahanky. Some people call her Polahanky Panky. Senate Bill 858. Okay. Rosemary Bayer. She's the head of the Anti-Second Amendment Senate Caucus. So these are the things that I know are on the agenda, moving through committees. They're putting it out there. The Senate bills are public. The House bills, I don't know if those are on a public agenda or not. I found out about them before, like, virtually any of the state reps did. So now I know people, and I've heard some conversations. There's probably going to be more than this. So get ready. And you might see me on here. I hope not, guys. I hope not. But you might see me on here where we're all hanging out with that Pohutsky, she's called. She's the one with the gavel. You guys remember her? She's a real beauty, too. Look, the Republicans won the House. That's not till January. They still have a lot of time right now to completely and utterly destroy this state. You guys might see me pop on here at 11 o'clock at night or midnight where we can watch them just cram all this stuff through together if you want. It's kind of a good learning experience. Not that I enjoy it, but I guess it's a learning experience. Chris Gilbert with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man. He says, 2A Edu, you're the best. I'm up in the UP. Shout out to the UP, by the way. You guys flipped that Jen Hill seat? Are you kidding me? Now, I know everyone wasn't in that exact area, but that was like a major part of the UP. The UP said, get out, you're fired, to a Democrat rep up there. Unfortunately, your Democrat rep that's up in the UP, if you guys have been to the UP, it's a beautiful place. It ain't no place for not so good-looking Democrats. Good-looking, conservative, gun-owning, Second Amendment supporting people only in the UP. Your rep's out, but she's still in office for another month and a half. He says, you're the best. I'm in the UP and haven't heard anything about this except for you the last 2 nights. Well, I'm trying, guys. I'm trying. And I will try to get that shorter video out because I can already hear the comments coming now. Why does it take this man 2 hours to spit it out? Well, I already gave you guys all the information, within minutes. It's ain't a guy allowed to be on here hanging out with his friends at night, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, these are my sponsors. You see these super chats here, channel members, Patreon. Sometimes you guys send me a Cash App. There's some links down in the description, by the way, if anybody wants to be a sponsor of the channel. Infinity Targets, 20% coupon code and free shipping right now on anything. Blackout Coffee, 20% off sale. My link's down in the description there. And check it out. And I only say that because there's people that they really want a lot more from me. And I'm like, guys, I'm doing the best I can. If you saw my work schedule, you'd know. But I do want to thank all of you who do make what I do possible. Rudy Fenney, what's happening, Rudy? Channel member and a $5 super chat. He says, if these do get crammed through, what are the chances they get overturned through lawsuits or a fresh House and Senate? Okay, here's the problem. The Senate's on 4-year elections. If you live in Michigan, you guys noticed you didn't have any senators on your ballot, not state senators. United States Senate, Rogers versus Slotkin, yes, you saw that. Maybe you voted, maybe you didn't, but the Senate's every 4 years, the House is every 2 years. So we still have a Democrat-controlled Senate, Rudy, for 2 more years in Michigan, no matter what. We still have the governor of Michigan. The only thing I'm debating right now is who has more different names they're called? The governor of Michigan or Senator Paula Hankey? Yeah, probably the governor of Michigan, but I'm keeping it family friendly so you guys can just fill in the blanks on what to call these people because these are real beauties. And when we say real beauties, we mean it in a different kind of way when it comes to these. We got the governor of Michigan. She's still in for 2 more years. You ain't going to overturn nothing in 2 years. Here's the problem, man. A lot of Republicans, not all, but a lot of Republicans are feckless and are rhinos. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You know that, Rudy. You know how it goes, man. I mean, look, the minority leader, and I'm going to try to schedule a meeting with him before they go into session here, before they go into the next session. The Michigan House of Representatives minority leader, Matt Hall. He's going to be the Speaker of the House in a month and a half. He's going to be the head Republican, the Speaker of the House. He voted for gun control, So when the top Republican in the whole Michigan House voted for gun control, the so-called safe storage laws, look it up, guys. It's his vote. And here's the thing. I hate it so bad that I have to remind you guys of that. But I'm trying to encourage him to not do that again and to change his ways. I'm hoping I can have a productive conversation with him about what it might look like in the next 2 years. I want to give you something to look forward to, Rudy, but it's a lot easier to prevent than it is to repeal. Most of these people are politicians too. A few of them just happen to be holding office and are still diehards, but a lot of them, man, a little bit of power, it just goes a long way in their head. What's happening, Christy? Heller is tracking. The Heller Foundation will sue the pants off these clowns. And thank you. Thank you for stepping up because You know, not a lot of people like to sue on stuff in Michigan. Here you go, Christy. Alert for you and your all of your different people. Christy's a very well-connected young lady. If you guys don't know her, she's really cool too. I'm trying to get this to zoom in for you here. I'll text this to you, Christy, if you don't have it already. These two atrocious Senate bills, 857 and 858, it's gutting your CPL. Okay? It's criminalizing you without a CPL. You ain't going to be able to carry anywhere. The committee hearings for those are this Thursday, the 14th at 12 p.m. in the Senate building. Okay? So I know you looked for the committee hearings on the House bills last night, Christy. Yeah, they might be some of these like 41, 27, and 28. I think those already went through committee. We're just on like the third House substitutes. 54, 50, and 51. They might just forgo committees and rush these through altogether. But we do have scheduled committee hearings for these two Senate bills. Okay. Yep, and that's just what I said. It's just what I said, Abby, a second ago. I'm like, look, man, the governor ain't going to sign any Pro 2A bill. The Senate won't let it through. All the House can do is play defense, but here's the problem, man. When you got like 4 or 5 Republicans voting for gun control like they did last year, you know, then it doesn't matter. Then it can just go through. Okay, Dale. Yep. Good job. No, guys, look, I encourage all of you to keep holding Leader Hall, soon to be Speaker Hall, accountable for his vote. Peer pressure is a good thing. Okay, I know you're all responsible adults, and on the internet, we're going to have to say peacefully, you know, you don't have to be polite. Don't like threaten to beat the man up or anything, but if you want to beat him up with your words, okay, on your on these issues and give him a little heck, that's fine. That's what he's there for. He's the minority leader, soon to be the Speaker of the House. And I'd like him to have second thoughts on his views on gun control. I'd like him to have a change of heart, a change of mind. I would hope that it would be sincere. But even if it's not sincere, I would hope he would have a change of heart, I guess, just to keep power. And if that helps preserve the Second Amendment, I guess. Look, this is politics here. And it sucks. You guys are all putting in your different names for the governor of Michigan, right? MF James, what are the effective dates? We don't know. They'll probably just pass with immediate effect in the House like it's nothing. The Senate may be able to stop immediate effect on some of these. But here's the problem, though. We have the governor of Michigan for 2 more years. All right. So even if the Senate can stop immediate effect, there's not going to be time to get in there, you know, and get rid of these. The House could pass bills repealing every gun control law in all of Michigan. The Senate won't even give it a hearing, won't give it a vote, won't even give it the time of day, period. So it would just stop there. But to argue in the contrary, even if they did somehow get it through the Senate, which they wouldn't, the governor is going to veto it. So they won't be able to do anything. If these bills go in, they will not be able to correct them before they actually go on into public act. Now, then we would have the next thing where some of our Second Amendment groups, okay, Heller Foundation's tracking, okay, hopefully other people are tracking. Hopefully they can file separate suits. Maybe they can combine their efforts together. That's how this works sometimes. Hopefully somebody can sue the living bleepity bleep out of them because this stuff's like flagrantly unconstitutional. Supreme Court's already talked about the sensitive places doctrine and that you can't just declare, what do they say, all of Long Island to be or whatever part they were talking about, right? You can't just declare a whole section of a city to be a sensitive place. I don't have the case in front of me right now, but see, the Supreme Court of the United States has already ruled on a lot of this stuff. But it doesn't matter. They're going to do it anyways and ruin a lot of people's lives until they get shot down. Now, the Michigan State Supreme Court, oh gosh, it just went 5-2 liberal. It just went even more liberal, okay? It just went more liberal this last election. It's weird because there was like this huge red wave in Michigan, but like people just must not know who judges are or don't care or something because the 2 Michigan Supreme Court races the two radical leftists, like radically left liberals, they smoked the crap out of the two conservative candidates by like 20+% each. They won by like over 20 points each. Isn't that crazy? It's just weird that people could like flip the house in Michigan and all of that. But then just like overwhelmingly, go look it up if you guys don't believe me, but like on a 2-to-1 ratio, voted for radical leftists into the Michigan Supreme Court. Andrew Fink was a good representative, a good 2A defending representative. He resigned his seat in the Michigan House of Representatives to run for the Supreme Court. He literally lost by 20+ points. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, the state of Michigan will, look, the governor of Michigan will veto everything. If it's even, look, you can't even put he or she in a bill anymore. Just to realize how liberal these are. Like Rudy Finney said, I'm fine with a stalemate. Look, a stalemate just means that it just means that we're not going to keep just sliding off into this abyss. If the House can stand true to their so-called conservative principles that they all run on and get elected on, all right? Now it makes me very apprehensive, okay, when I see the Speaker of the House. Okay, the Speaker of the House is a big fan of gun control. Like literally voted for it. It's kind of like, yeah. You know, this puts a lot of things into perspective. And I hope you guys got all the info you needed. If you're just joining tonight, welcome. If you rewind, I promise I got right to the meat and potatoes of these pretty early on. I'll do my best to get you guys a concise video tomorrow. They can't even say he or she in a bill anymore. You know, it's just really frustrating. See, it used to say, is not precluded from carrying a concealed pistol while in a vehicle on school property if he or she is dropping the student off at the school or picking up the student. It has to say the parent, you know? And it's not just this bill, it's every single bill in Michigan that's passed this year. Because here's the thing, most of them aren't fresh bills. You guys know that, right? Like I started off the stream. One of these amends a gun control bill that's been standing in Michigan since 1927. The other one's amending a bill that's been standing in Michigan since 1931. And that's how 99% of your stuff that goes through, it's all just piling on and amending and adding to and crossing out sections of bills, right? But everywhere that they see he and she in every bill that's passed Michigan this whole session, they have to cross out he or she and just put in like person or individual. Which I get it, guys. Person could mean he or she, but what's wrong with saying he or she? It's not even politically correct to say girls and boys or ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I know that in and of itself isn't 2A related, but it actually is. If you just look at the big picture, it's called wokeness. It's called, they just want to tear down all the fundamentals. All of the fundamentals of this country and what it's supposed to be. Yes, I'm definitely thinking of the Bruin case, Christy, that's for sure. I probably should have said Bruin because I knew that. I was just trying to think of the exact verbiage that said you can't declare every place a sensitive place. And they're going to criminalize having a gun, period, in most of the state of Michigan. I mean, it's literally thousands of places that you'll be banned, even if you have a CPL. And also if you don't, right? Someone said, where do these votes come from? Your Grandpa Joe. He was a good man. He was a Republican his whole life until the day he died. Now he's been doing nothing but voting Democrat, right? Right, Dale? Jay, how's it going, man? Thank you for being a sponsor of tonight's stream. And thank you for the super chat. It says, hey, from the Innkeeper. All right. Innkeeper, who's also one of my supporters and regulars in the chat over on Locals. Look, if you guys are following me on Locals or that green meanie site that YouTube doesn't like that rhymes with fumble, go in the description. You'll see what I mean. Good deals in the description too, by the way. Make sure you guys are following me there. We talk about guns and do all kinds of cool stuff over on Saturdays. So what's happening, Innkeeper? In sunny but much cooler Arizona. Probably still warmer than here, right? He says, I better go down to the flea market and stock up before control comes here. Dude, shout out to the great state of Arizona. Carrie Lake, she's been fighting hard. Maricopa County, weird things happen there in the middle of the night, don't they? Weird things have been happening. But I don't know, man. You live in a different state. But look, I wish all of you guys the best in all of these 50 United States, because I know this is like Michigan I'm talking about here, which I think the rest of you all understand. I have to keep track of my home state but I care about all of your states. I talked about Illinois in my recent YouTube live stream. So I care about you all. I just can't be on the phone with 10 state reps and a couple senators every week in all 50 states, right? But man, you're probably doing a little better than we are here in Michigan, but hey, you got to keep your head on a swivel everywhere. Everywhere, right? Right, crazy heathen? See, here's the thing. The Second Amendment is so simple, but people often forget about it. Everyone gets hung up on just the shall not be infringed part, but you should get hung up on that. That's great, but you got to think about the first part, though. Why shall no arms be infringed? Well, it tells you in the predicating clause, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. So if you want to be free, it's necessary that you have a well-regulated militia. Now, we hear regulation today meaning control, like gun regulation, gun control, right? But regulated then didn't mean that. It meant you were self-regulated. You were at the ready. You were well-armed. You were well-disciplined. Okay? Regular old people. The fact that their arms shall not be infringed would be able to leave their homes, drill together, train together, be armed together. Not for if, but for when there would be a tyrannical government, because don't forget for 1 minute, George Washington leading the regular army. Some of the most crucial battles was actually the militia in the Revolutionary War. The militia is not something just to look at as some kind of fringe, right-wing, whatever. And that's how the media has painted it for so long now. And there's been all of these laws that have undermined militias and made it where people are afraid to be put on a list. But a militia isn't just some afterthought. It isn't something that you're supposed to do with your friends. No, the reason for a militia, first, you need to read the Declaration of Independence. It puts it all into context there, beautifully. Perfectly beautifully into context what this whole country is supposed to be about. And then the Second Amendment literally puts it down on paper. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. It doesn't say helpful for the security of a free state. It doesn't say, well, it'd be cool if we did. No. Look, the Founding Fathers had words. They had the best words. They could have written whatever they wanted down. But they used a very pointed word. Necessary. Being necessary to the security of a free state. Now, I don't think it's a coincidence at all. I think it's something that was predicted long ago by the Founding Fathers of this country. If you don't have a well-regulated militia, you don't have a free state. And we found ourselves as militias are more and more demonized over the years and are more and more sparse and split up and have to keep their heads down and in the shadows in many cases. Not all, but that's been the general movement in this country for a long time now. For a long, long time, actually. You find we keep getting less and less free. And that's why the Second Amendment doesn't grant you the right to keep and bear arms. It's a natural right. As Thomas Jefferson said, these are the laws of nature and of nature's God. These are certain unalienable rights that are endowed by your Creator. Whoever you believe created you, We don't all believe in the same exact creator watching this channel right now. We're not all of the exact same religion. All of us don't follow the same dogmas, but I hope we can all agree on this. Senator Rosemary Bayer is not your creator. Can we at least agree on that? I think we can. Can we agree that Senator Polehanki is also not your creator? The government didn't give you the right to keep and bear arms, but it's sure going to try to take it away as long as people just sit back and do nothing. Because it was written long ago by the founding fathers, again, exactly what had happened and what would happen again. It also talks in the Declaration that it's your right and it is your duty to throw off a tyrannical government and to institute a new government that to them, which in this case would be to you, would seem most likely to affect your safety and happiness. So we do have elections, and they do actually matter. And we did flip the Michigan House of Representatives. That just doesn't go into effect until January. Doesn't go into effect till January. So they're going to try to cram as much stuff as they can in the lame duck right now. Let me see what the chat's saying here. Sea Bear, welcome to the stream. If you'd like to just kindly rewind to the beginning, okay, we'll talk all about it. If you could also kindly read the title. The title is Breaking 2 More Michigan Gun Control Bills Likely to Pass. That's 6 so far during the lame duck session. It's a live stream. I'm just hanging out talking to my friends right now. For anyone who just popped in, you'll get all the meat and potatoes you need in the first I would say I gave you guys a quick run over in the first 5 minutes, but certainly within 15, 20 minutes in, we had gotten through like the nuts and bolts. I'll try my best to get you guys a concise video tomorrow. Every able-bodied man is responsible for securing the state, says our friend Red, not the state. Yeah. Yep. A well-regulated militia being necessary, right? It doesn't say a big government's necessary. No, it's actually the opposite. Christie says, the Second Amendment is a human right to self-defense that is entrenched in the United States Constitution and protected by the precedent set in the landmark Heller decision. Yeah. Yeah, but I've actually met Dick Heller a couple times, including at the GOA event when you were there hanging out with him, Christy. I'm just going to read a few more of the chats. Here, we'll jump off in a few minutes. Tim says, thank you for your efforts you put forth. Well, you're welcome, man. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you guys being here knowing I'm not alone. I really do. This is frustrating, guys. There's 6 right now they're trying to cram through in the lame duck. And I hope some of the stuff I'm hearing about isn't true. I won't tell you guys the rest of it till there's some meat on the bone. But I'm hearing more. I don't like it. What's up, Paul Bennett? Bill Alexander, how you doing, man? He says, this crap is exactly why we need to get Democrats out of office wherever we can. Look, a lot of you guys went out and voted, and a lot of you guys did a good job. Look, that Jamie Church's seat, Michigan's 27th district, you guys that live in that district, you flipped the heck out of that seat. Riley Linting's her name. Look, I don't know how she's going to turn out as a rep, but I'm gonna be optimistic about her unless or until she proves us wrong, and I hope she doesn't. I'll have to send her a text in the next day or two encouraging her to stay strong on the Second Amendment, which I'm pretty sure she will. But yeah, I met Riley when she was the Michigan Republican Youth Vice Chair, and just flipped that major seat there in like the Wyandotte, Michigan area. You guys up in the UP flipped a seat big time. Up in Leelanau, county, there's several. So you guys have been putting forth some effort. It just sucks, man. We just got to sit here and suffer though for at least another 6 weeks. These clowns could have session all the way up till New Year's Eve if they want. I'm hoping one of the representatives invites me to be their guest this year for the opening day session. They may or may not. Either way, I'll go there and just be like in the audience. But I'd like to talk to some of these incoming reps right away and just kind of give them the old, you got to slip them the coin. You know what I mean? You guys remember how they did with Mike Pence in 2020? You walk up and you're like, excuse me, representative, but you give them a little wink. No, I'm not going to give them any crazy coin or anything like that. But I'm not bribing public officials. That's a joke, whoever's watching right now. Jeez, oh, Pete's the ghost of Susan Wiki. Dude, they like totally ended my stream last night mid-sentence. Did you guys notice that? They like nuked the crap out of it mid-sentence. They didn't take it down, but it just went, phew, like you're done. And I mentioned that agency that starts with an F, followed by an E, M as in Mary, A as in Apple. I just said the name of it once, right? I mean, this is like, I talked about elections and votes once. My screen flickered. My friend Jane Locke said that she got kicked out like 6 times in my chat last night. Dude, they just, at a certain point in my stream last night, they just said, that's it. We want these bills to pass in darkness. We want the state of Michigan to completely die. Like, there's certain things I say on here sometimes. And like, it literally like just, if you don't believe me, go watch the last 20 seconds of my stream last night. I'm mid-sentence. Now, I was going to get off and go to bed in like 5 minutes. But I was talking to myself for the last 5 minutes because they just went, you know what I mean? What's happening, Fluffy? 10 millimeter Jeep guy. Speaking of seeing people down in Tennessee, right? How's it going, man? Number 1, Big Bear. What's up? Yeah, in Michigan here, the Senate was not up for re-election, guys. They run for 4-year terms in Michigan. United States Senate 6-year terms. Yeah. Wuffagoey Jones. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man. I'm talking and all of a sudden just I realized that after I went to check the replay, I was still talking for 5 more minutes. I'm like, dude, nobody's chatting anymore. Yeah, maybe I just put them all to sleep. So I kind of said bye to everybody, hit end. I'm like, no, I'm suspicious because when I mean nobody was chatting anymore, nobody was. I was just down here talking to myself for like probably 5-6 minutes, somewhere around there. Yeah. What's up, Harry Gremlin? YouTube bumped you, what, last night or tonight too? I don't know. It's getting to the point where they don't even... Yeah. They don't want us to talk about this stuff at all. Membership in a militia is not required to have that individual right to self-defense. Yes, according to Heller, I agree. And I hope nobody misconstrued what I was saying. I wasn't saying that you have to be in a militia. No. Since a well-regulated militia is necessary to the security of a free state, right? That means everybody's right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. One's not predicated on the other. And that has always been my stance. Rudy says, I still find it crazy that Trump wins Michigan, but Rogers lost. I guess people just can't find it within themselves to research beyond president election. Dude, most people can't even find the research for anything. Do you know how many people in Michigan are like, what's my state rep? How do I find out my state rep? It's like, well, you just voted on it a week ago. And then there's like this moment of silence. They're like, Look, I've had more than one friend, acquaintances just around town here alone, and a myriad of them online. Trust me, way more than I would even want to share with you. Where it's just the same thing every time, Rudy. It's like, well, I need to get a hold of my state rep. Who is it? And I'm like, do you vote? Of course I vote. Do you vote on Second Amendment lines? Yeah, shall not be infringed from my cold dead hands. I'm so Mr. America, they should make a comic book about me. Like, literally, friends of mine are like that. And then I'm like, well, hold on a minute. You just voted for your state rep. Like, this was like a week ago. I was like, you just voted for your state rep, like, yesterday. What do you mean? I didn't see it. It's like, yeah, Rudy, I don't know, dude. I think a lot of people just literally go in, fill out the top circle, and just leave. I mean, the number of people that I know in Michigan that are two-way enthusiasts, absolutists, these are the best of the best. Two-way EDU, who's my state rep? Well, you just voted for the darn thing now at this point, 8 days ago. But they've been telling me this all week. Dude, it was election day, and one of my friends, I'm like, so I hope your state rep wins. It's a close race. And they said, who's that? I'm like, didn't you say you just voted today? They're like, yeah, in person about 2-3 hours ago. I'm like, you just voted 2-3 hours ago and you have no idea who your state rep is? I'm like, boy, that's why we're in trouble. Look, I'm not putting down or making fun of anybody. If my friend that told me that story is watching right now, hey, it's a challenge, guys, a very friendly challenge. How can we even expect to hold these people accountable if we literally have no idea who they are, like at all? A lot of my friends have asked. Now, a lot of you guys don't live in Michigan, so people, asking this, you guys are just asking as outsiders from other states. That's completely different. Completely different. But I've had a lot of my Michigan friends be like, so did we flip the Michigan Senate? And it's like, well, did you see a Michigan senator on your ballot? No, you didn't, because it wasn't there, because they're not up for election. So I don't know, man. A lot of Second Amendment supporters either don't vote at all, even though they say they do. And look, I don't care if you vote or not. I think voting is a very important part. It is your right. It is your duty to throw off a government and institute a new government. And the founding fathers tried to do it peacefully for decades, guys. Literally decades they tried, okay, to do it peacefully before they started shooting. But look, I don't know, man. It's tough. But a lot of you guys just don't live in the state of Michigan. I would have no idea when all your state senates and reps are up for election. So, like, I totally get that. But all the Michigan gun owners that are like, so did we take the Senate? And it's like, well, did you vote? Yeah. Well, you must not have voted or read what you voted for, because if you would have read the ballots you voted for, you would have seen there was no bubble to fill in for a state senator, like, at all. NRA ratings can be interesting. Minority Leader Matt Hall, soon to be Michigan Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, has an A rating with the NRA, and he literally voted for gun control. Like, point blank. I don't mean like it was part of a greater bill or it was something hidden in the middle of the night, because we did have a weird one happen like that just a couple months back. Okay. But I mean, like, he blatantly just voted for the safe storage bill that was a standalone vote, proudly. And he still has an A rating. Tim says, I'm not sure how to politely ask this. Well, okay. As I know it's not intentional, but could you possibly put the U.S. flag on the top position in your background? Thanks again. I think I like it where it's at, actually, because I'm not flying the flag on a flagpole, actually, at all. Okay. I don't think there's any type of flag etiquette that it's not on a flagpole, first of all. Second of all, I'm flying it upside down because, hey, maybe there will be a day here soon where I don't feel like we're completely and utterly in distress. It's falling upside down because we're in distress. Do you guys support my right or your right or anyone's right to burn the American flag? Good question for the chat tonight. What do you guys think? I'm not asking if it made you mad or not, but is it First Amendment protected speech to burn the American flag? Just a simple question. Is it First Amendment protected speech? Should you be able to be jailed for burning an American flag? Should you be able to be jailed for spitting on it, desecrating it, stomping on it while it's in flames? With both middle fingers up. It's just a question for you guys. I'm wondering what y'all think about it. Okay, wow. All right. This is interesting. I want to give you guys something to think about here for a minute. My friends in the chat, and some of you guys that are saying this are my friends. Are you guys First Amendment supporters? Are you Second Amendment supporters? Do some of you support the Second Amendment but not the First? Now, let me make this known. I don't want to burn the American flag like that. I don't want to spit on it. I don't want to desecrate it. Flying the American flag upside down is actually not me disrespecting the flag, by the way. That's not what that means. Occasionally I get a viewer that thinks that. No, it goes back to a tradition from a long ago where a fort or would be under attack and they hoist their flag up upside down. So hopefully if some friendlies saw that, they could come in and help them. Okay, so the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Does that mean you should be able to own a 6-shooter? Yeah, that's right. What if it's a 1911 and it holds 7 rounds or even 8? Will that be okay? What if it's a Taurus GX4 and it has an 11-round magazine? Is that okay? What if it's a Armalite rifle and it holds 30 rounds? Is that okay? Now, I believe the Second Amendment covers all arms. Tank, bazooka, whatever. Like literally all. And please explain it to me. I'm not being mean to anybody here. I promise you I'm not. But my friends that don't think that an American should be able to lawfully burn a flag, what part of the First Amendment don't you like? Do you not like the part that says Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof? Maybe you like that part. But do you like the part that says or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or of the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances? And this is something where I'm adamantly against Trump, and I will apologize to nobody on this. Trump wants to send people to jail for burning the American flag. Well, here's the problem with that. Because I don't like it when people burn the American flag, actually. I don't like it at all. It actually disgusts me. But keep in mind, there's people that are equally disgusted at the sight of your AR-15. or your AK or even your 6-shooter in some cases. Some people are that radical. So why can we stand there and say the Second Amendment means shall not be infringed against all the people that just hate with every ounce and soul in their being us owning guns? But we say, but the Second Amendment's absolute. But then how can we also say, and how can Trump or anybody also say, but the First Amendment's not absolute? It only protects the freedom of speech for speech we like? Because then all of a sudden it just means that if you have 2 wolves voting against 1 sheep on what's for dinner, who do you think's for dinner? And I look at the entire Bill of Rights as like a brick wall. But the problem is if you take 1 block out of it, it becomes weak and the whole thing can crumble. So no, I don't mean any disrespect to the American flag by flying it upside down, first and foremost. I don't, and I promise you that. Like, that's the real answer. But arguing in the contrary, even if I was being disrespectful of the American flag, wouldn't that be my right? And wouldn't people who love rights love the fact that I'm exercising my First Amendment? I don't know, just something to think about. A little bit. I mean, and to the OP, look, I'm not ragging on you, man. I promise. You tried to give me something to think about. Now I'm just giving you something to think about, right? Because, look, if you're flying 2 flags on a flagpole, okay, it's considered proper etiquette where you fly the American flag on top, and then you fly your Jolly Roger or your Don't Tread on Me or whatever below it. But first of all, they're not even in parallel lined up with each other. And second of all, I'm not even flying them on a flagpole. And I'll just be honest with you guys. I'll confess, I'll lose subscribers over this probably. I don't light it up at night, actually, either. Really. I'm just telling you guys the truth. I don't put a light on it at night. It's inside, though. I'm not on a military base. I'm not subject to the UCMJ, which has their own different rules, but I don't know. Okay, I kind of thought maybe YouTube nuked my live stream. A hush went over the crowd. No one's even really chatting anymore. I get it. You don't see a constitutional fundamentalist very often, I guess. Yeah, I believe in the Second Amendment, exactly what it says, and I think it means what it says. I believe in the First Amendment, and I believe it means what it says. Yeah, Whitler unconstitutionally shut down the churches. Absolutely. Absolutely. Nukes are an interesting topic because a nuke, in my opinion, I wish they just didn't exist at all. Okay, I literally wish they didn't exist at all. I wish no governments own nukes. Okay. I wish governments didn't own nukes. I wish they'd have never been invented. I just don't like nukes. Period. Like, they're just bad. I wish they didn't exist. But It doesn't. The Second Amendment does. Where do you see that the Second Amendment protects bearable arms, though? I don't see that caveat in there. The right to keep bearable arms shall not be infringed. It's actually not what it says, though. Okay? The Second Amendment says the right to keep and bear arms. So let's put this another way. Say you have a Corvette and a pickup truck in your driveway. That's a proper way to use and. I have the ability to drive a Corvette and a pickup truck. Now, I do have a pickup truck right there, but I don't have a Corvette. But I'm just saying. Does that mean I have to have a Corvette to also have a pickup truck? So you have the right to keep and also the right to bear arms. I'm just saying. There were warships owned by privateers. At the time of the Revolution, like there were literally privately owned warships that were operating under a letter of marque that actually fought battles on the high seas that were owned by civilians. So if you look at the founding era of this country, civilians actually owned and operated the highest form of armament that was invented. Well, thank you, Vince. No, you didn't upset me, Tim. I never said I was upset. I'm not. I'm really not. Yeah. I don't know. I just like to express myself that way, and I'm kind of like a First Amendment absolutist. Look, you guys have to remember, I love my country, but I've hated my government more often than not for a while, just because look at the chaos it's been in. You know, I think our country's in trouble. That's why I fly the flag upside down. Yeah, see, I guess the difference is I don't consider that me flying it with that flag. I thought there was like a, enough of a layer of separation where they're not even on the same plane. I don't know. I mean, I know what I'm thinking. It's hard for me to understand what people see from their end. Good night, Harry. I'm going to jump off in just 1 second. Yeah, our country has sucked for close to 200 years. The Whiskey Rebellion. I might be on here in the middle of the night soon. I'm just like nursing the last couple drops of this blackout coffee. It's gone now, guys. All right, I'm going to take one look at the chat and jump off. Yes, the NFA and GCA are both unconstitutional. All gun control is unconstitutional, if you ask me. Dale says, daughter says, right to arm bears. Oh, boy. That was funny. Oh, no, we have problems right now. I'm trying to be excited about things. I'm trying, and I am excited about things. I can kind of, usually do two things at once, but yeah, it's tough. Kimberly says, I really enjoy your G2C vids. I picked one up and tricked it out too. Well, that's cool. I'm actually thinking this weekend on my local stream, I'm probably going to go through a bunch of Taurus pistols because you can't touch guns on live streams here on YouTube. But on my locals live streams, I definitely do. So I have some Taurus pistols that I do want to talk about actually. And I might I'm going to be slowing down on work here soon. I might start doing some more Taurus reviews again, actually, because I still like those pistols quite a bit. And there's always new people getting into guns that haven't seen my previous library, right? What's happening, Jason? All right, guys. Well, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to get ready for bed here in a few minutes so I can work tomorrow. And I'll try to get a more concise video that, kind of encompasses all 6 of these. I guess it'd be 4 House bills and 2 Senate bills. If you've just joined, welcome. Just go back to the beginning. I kind of, I think cut to the point pretty quickly on what's going on, right? Trying to see if there's anyone in here I haven't said hi to yet. Am I missing anybody? Edu says YouTube was having a site-wide issue when you went down during last night's stream. Okay. Well, maybe that makes me feel a little less paranoid, right? Wow, I can't believe it. Like 5 people unsubbed when I just said a few minutes ago that how despicable it is that Trump wants to send people to jail for burning an American flag. Wow. That's okay, though. They'll be back. Look, guys, I don't care how popular the First Amendment is or isn't among the 2A community or whoever. I just am what I am. I'm a Bill of Rights, founding documents absolutist. I believe in the protections of the First Amendment, even if my friends don't. And if we can still be friends, that's up to you guys. Look, I'll still be your friend if you think it should be illegal to burn an American flag. We can still be friends. That's fine. At the end of the day, we both agree, though, I don't want to burn an American flag either. Okay. And when I see people doing it, it makes me, it makes me mad. I don't like it. But to jail people for it? Whoa, what's going on? What country am I in? Like, wow. That actually, I'm not even joking. Freaks me out to thinking if you live in a country. Now, when I say burn a flag, I mean your own flag, and you're doing it where it's not going to burn down somebody else's house. You don't have the right to set someone else's flag on fire. You don't have the right to burn your flag in close proximity to your neighbor's flammables that's going to blow up their house. Obviously, I'm not talking about any of that, but man, to live in a country where you could get jailed for exercising your First Amendment rights freaks me out. And some of my Second Amendment friends obviously got mad at me tonight. I don't know why it was such a big surprise to them that I'm just as absolutist on the First Amendment as I am the Second Amendment, but I don't know. Good night, Joker. Good night, JJ. Yeah, Joe, I just said you don't have the right to burn someone else's flag. That's what I said. Yep. I agree. If one person loses their rights, so does everyone else. Yeah, they become privileges then, don't they? Random guy from Oz. I don't know what to think of this cabinet. We're gonna have to see what happens. I'm just kind of digesting all of it right now. The problem is Trump's doing all these cabinet moves, or a lot of them are still just strong rumors. Well, I'm trying to scramble to keep track of the 6 Michigan gun control bills that have a decent chance, most likely, going to get crammed through here in the next week or weeks. It's just hard to keep track of everything at once, especially when you work for a living, right? All right, I'm going to jump off. Hopefully, I will have a more concise video briefly summarizing all of these. And I will talk to you guys again out here soon. Good night, Mike Starr. And good night, James, as I'm just getting ready to jump off. No, you are right. Hold on one second. Okie Kier 12. That's like how they say you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. Well, yes, you can. That's actually true. And that's even been settled by the Supreme Court as well. There just needs to be a fire, and you can speak the word fire in a theater. You can't create dangerous conditions that makes everyone go into mass chaos and pandemonium and stampede each other. That's actually true. All right, yeah. If you go back to the beginning, James, a replay, we're getting into the nuts and bolts. I just been hanging out with my friends, getting some of my good friends mad at me tonight, and I don't want it to stay that way. But we'll all be hanging out again soon. When I said it shouldn't be criminalized to burn an American flag, but we've mostly just been chilling and hanging out for the last hour of this stream. But I think I got to the nuts and bolts of it fairly early on, and make sure you guys are all calling and writing and carry your pigeon, smoke signals, whatever you're into, to your Michigan reps and senators. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.